Today's show is brought to you by PayPal. PayPal is offering listeners to this podcast the opportunity to jumpstart your business with PayPal Working Capital. There's no credit check required. You can pay one affordable fixed fee, and you can automatically repay with a percentage of your sales. Visit paypal.com/success to take advantage of this opportunity. Additional terms and conditions apply to the 550 promotion. Please visit paypal.com. Again, paypal.com/success for more information. Today's show is also brought to you by Organifi, the best tasting green blend on the market. They're cold processed, guys, to retain all of the nutrients. And if you're looking to fill all the nutritional gaps and buffer out that new stress that your body has to deal with on a daily basis, check out Organifi.com. That's Organifi.com, and use the promo code SUCCESS to save 20% on your order. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ. Joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Phillips.
What it do? What it do?
And Dr. Thomas himself, Mr. Eric Douglas. What's going down?
Man, I'm just so excited to be back up first thing in the morning. Like I was, you know what I'm saying, trying to be nice with y'all the whole 12 o'clock in the afternoon type deal. But,
well, if you can't hear it in my throat, it is about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, so. I love it. And
I just got a 3-year-old. Yo, I don't know what it is. I promise you, like, Trey, like, so he in his own bed now for a while, but then, some kind of way, and I'm talking about my man like a ninja. I don't never hear him come in, which kind of scares me. I'm like, yo, see, you can't be sleeping that hard. My man, I'm talking about, I wake up, my man is like, got his feet in my mouth. I'm like, bruh, what are you doing? And he don't want to cuddle with his mom at all. Like, he would literally like, and I see her every now and then, she'll be like, oh Lord, he killing CJ, let me try to grab him. And he would like fight her in the middle of the night, like, no, I want my dad. Like, he don't want to do nothing but sleep with me. So I just got a 3-year-old feet out my mouth about 30 seconds before we hit record. And so I'm here. But that does bring me to my am I tripping or, and it is child related. And you can maybe bring a different perspective. Maybe it gets better later in life, Carl, but I'm sure you feel me. Am I tripping or are kids the most ungrateful little things that you've ever seen in your life? Now, let me break this down. We go back to Michigan, take Trey, and Avery. They on a plane. Trey done been on about at least 2,000 flights by now. We fly him there. This little joker eating cookies and apple juice on the way there. He goes with his grandparents. He has the time of his life. They at the zoo. They riding bikes. They doing all kind of fun stuff. They come back. We get on the plane, coming back. We let him have some more cookies, apple juice. He living the life. Gets back home. He's like, Daddy, want to ride my bike? We ride the bike. Come back in. He asked me, Dad, I want some more juice. I said, well, son, you've had enough juice today. We don't even do juice like that. So no, you can't do juice. So he doesn't start crying. He's at a different age now where you don't just bust out crying. He goes and sits on the couch. I'm at the kitchen table. About 5 minutes later, I hear him say, Daddy. I was like, I forgot all about it. I was like, yeah. He said, Daddy, sometimes you're a mean daddy. I was like, what? I was like, look, I will choke the light. What are you talking about? He was like, well, sometimes you're a mean daddy. I said, why you say that? He said, because I asked for juice and you didn't give it to me. And I was like, yo, I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I found myself about to run down a whole list of things I had done for this boy over the course of his life. Like, how dare you call me a mean daddy? And but I let it go. But I just wanted to know, am I tripping or y'all kids ungrateful too?
Nah, I'm talking about the most ungrateful critters that ever crossed planet Earth. And from the looks of it, it looked like that's just the way it is. Like, seriously.
I don't know. I'm hoping you can, shed some light on this, and then, I got a fair file for y'all too going along the same line.
Let me say this real quick before you go, E. Like, we got back from Barbados and Jordan. I'm talking about Jordan got in the house. I was like, yo, Daddy, can we go to the Hilton in Michigan? I was like saying, what? Like you just spent a doggone like 2 weeks in
First of all, I'm
Barbados.
mad he know there's a Hilton in Michigan.
Right. My man, 2 weeks at the beach, you know, the whole, like you said, the whole flights,
yeah,
whatever.
no doubt.
I'm talking about, we let them, I'm like, Tamisha, let's just kind of lay it off. We chill, we in Barbados, let them just have fun. Like they're watching TV, they're at the beach all day. They're eating fries all day, bro. Like just get some more fries. So I'm like, just let it go. We get back. My man's like, yo, I like the Hilton in Barbados. Is there one in Michigan? Let's do that. So yeah, E, give us something.
No, I'm just saying, I can't, you know what I'm saying, and C and I will probably debate like the mattress on this one, but it was a different era, man. Like y'all kids, is this a different, even though it seems like it's only a couple years or, you know, apart, but it's a different, I promise you, era. I was 25 when I had my first one. I don't even know if we had juice. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment. I don't even know if we had juice to give Jalen at that time. You know what I'm saying? And then back in the...
Here come the ET tales of how poor they were.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real.
Like the old grandfather that had to walk 80 miles to school one way, like every year get a couple more miles.
Yeah, I'm just being real. Me and Jalen came home to a one-bedroom, you know, literally roach-infested house. We ain't had no money at 25. Didi was 24. She had just finished college. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had no jobs at that time. So our kids didn't really start.
No lights, no working water.
Yeah, I'm just being real, bro. I mean, just imagine when you was 24 years old. Like y'all in your 30s with kids. I was 24. You know what I'm saying? When I had Bug. I mean, I had just turned 25. Didi had just turned 24. He was born, you know, late July. Her birthday is in August. You know what I'm saying? So she was literally 23, and she had him, you know what I'm saying, then she was 24. So we ain't had no bread, bro. So a lot of the challenges that y'all dealing with, the Hilton Hotel, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
Oh,
my kids didn't get that kind of stuff. And then, you know, we came from the generation where we couldn't really talk to our parents, like we couldn't reason with our parents, like, and I know y'all remember that, you know what I'm saying? So Jalen and them came up where it wasn't a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like asking questions or being able to say we mean. He probably felt we was mean, but he didn't necessarily express it. But I will say this, I don't know that they get any more, well, I should say it depends on who the child is. Jada is definitely a lot more, you know, appreciative than perhaps her brother is, but Jalen is old enough to know that he needs to be manipulative. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kids are young. They don't really have that swag yet. Jalen knows that he got to send some roses home. He got to, you know, maybe send a card, send a nice text, like, you know, have a good conversation with his mom, and then ask for something. So I don't know that it necessarily changes, but they do get a little smarter, and they're not as cute as Trey and Jordan right now. So you don't necessarily have the patience when they 22 years old and they breath stink that you did when they were 3 years old. So yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, fair argument. You know, and I'm teasing E about, you know, being broke. Even though I do feel like it might be a little sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had, y'all had a couple dollars. You had a couple dollars.
I ain't had no money at 23 or 24, and that's why I say, hey, you and Carl, just go back. Because I know y'all know me, like y'all been knowing me for so long, you don't know me in that, you know, light, so it's probably kind of hard. But when I tell Carl, go back when you was 23, Carl, how much money did you have when you was 23 years old?
Hey, me and my brother was using coins to order pizza.
Oh, come on. So that's what Didi, that's what me and Didi was doing.
I had a job. I was broke at 23. I had a job. I had a couple dollars now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. I wasn't broke. Plus, I was smart and went to school 15 minutes away from my folks. So if it ever got too struggle-platish, I could just run right to the crib, grab me a meal, wash my clothes, and I was good to go.
Yeah, that was
so I was
smart,
like poverty, but like middle-class poverty, you see what I'm saying? But you know what, E, I actually want to talk to the people because I think we talked about it a little bit the other day, and you talked about doing things in the right order and how it makes you mad when people don't do things in the right order. And the example you gave, which I thought was critical for real, is, you said, when Didi and I were on food stamps, I can remember the day she got her job. She drove down to the, the financial support office or wherever you get the food stamps from. And she told them, look, here, take these food stamps back, cut our food, like gave back the food stamps that y'all had. Like y'all could have, you know, at least spent that out.
I wanted
and then
that
waited
last
to the
one.
right, and then waited to the next month. And you said, nope, D took it down there and was like, yo, we done with this. We don't need it. Thank you very much. We appreciate the support. We are good now. And you were talking about how in business, and not obviously not necessarily food stamps, we're not talking about that, but you talked about how people are always trying to cut corners and be shady and manipulative, and how that can't work on the long end, and how you feel like most of your success in business and the success that we've had in business, which is, you know, obviously increased over the years, as we heard from back when you used to eat a bowl of beans every day. How, like,
with cornbread though? See, I did have cornbread. I'm not gonna lie, we did have cornbread.
Hot water, hot water
Over the stove. Over the stove.
Okay. So and you talked about Diddy doing that, and I was like, wow, like for real, that's deep. I had to check myself, Carl, because I'm like, man, I probably would have spent out the rest of them and just been like, okay, cool, we doubled up this month. But talk to, you know, us about like the integrity behind business in which we operate, and how you see people cut corners and how it ends up not working for them.
So let me say this, see, and we're not talking about manipulative people. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about people trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be clear today, because this podcast, of course, I don't think there are a lot of people, you know, who fit that description listening to us. I'm talking about good people now. And I'm talking about people who are trying to get to that next level and really feel that they need to cut corners to get to that next level. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I want to be clear that that's the demographic that I'm addressing. Good people, right? Real good people, right? But they don't understand that, you know, and again, I hate to go here because, you know, people, scientific people gonna call me, people got strong background in science gonna call me and be like, E, you wrong. All right, so y'all just help, you know, you just gotta help my little science brain. But, you know, I always talk about that there are laws, and what happens, and the thing I love about, you know, the law of gravity and these kind of laws is that on a basic level, I'm sure in NASA or whatever, you could do some stuff to manipulate it. But on a real basic level, bruh, what goes up must come down. Like, you jump on the roof and come down, like, you're gonna hurt yourself. I say it all the time. And so those laws can't be manipulated. And what I find sometimes with humans think, see, because they have a desire or a need, that they can manipulate things so that they can, you know, change the outcomes, right? And it is what it is, bro. Like, it's 120 credits to graduate. You know, we talked about this before. There was a time when people were buying, like, for instance, Facebook or Instagram, whatever. People were buying followers, right? And so what you're doing is you're being manipulative, and you're not doing it because you're a bad person, or you're not doing it because you're trying to create this evil. Like, really what you're trying to do is get that edge. And let me say this, please help me flush this through, see, because sometimes I'm not the greatest communicator, but there's certain things, see, you can't let people do for you or buy for you, you know, and I hope I'm making sense. There are certain things you have to buy for yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you have to earn for yourself. There's certain things you can get as a gift. There are other things, bruh, you just gotta earn it. You know what I'm saying? So let me just, okay. And I don't want to say anything specific, because people could be like, well, somebody could buy that for you. But you understand the concept, see, that there are certain things that Eric Thomas has to do for Didi. There's certain things that Eric Thomas has to do for Jalen and Jay. Okay, I can give you an example. All right, because this is not like money. And again, you know, this is in general, but I felt like I needed to take my son to school on the first day of school. And I'm being real basic because I don't want to say something that people can take and misconstrue, but I need to be there to take Jalen to school on that first day of school. I need to be there to take Jada to school on that first day of school. That when Jada wins her academic awards, it's great for her grandparents to be there. It's great for, you know, the pastor of the church to be there. It's great for, you know, her teacher, you know, from back in the day to be there. But see, I need to be there for her graduation. Like, I need to be there when she wins that academic award. Like, I just believe that there's certain things in life that people can't give you. And I say this, I say this, and then I'll open up back up to you guys. Like, you've seen lions, you know, that maybe are in a safari and you got people feeding them, versus lions who are in the Serengeti and they out hunting. Like, they different lions, see? Like, even though they have the same physical structure, you know, with the naked eye, they look alike. But that lion who's been fed beast and that lion that went out and hunted and got that and killed that beast, like went and like literally hunted for that beast, went through the whole strategy of, you know, knowing like, you know, where to kind of like chill out and wait for him to come, you know, did the whole like sitting still and waiting for the beast, you know, chasing it, hawking it down, killing it with his own bare hands, like eating it, you know what I'm saying, taking something back to his family. Like that is a different beast. And so there's just, when you start giving people certain things, you take away that dog, you take away that fight, you know what I'm saying? You take away their creativity, you take away the ability for them to be able to, you know, be creative, if you will. And so Didi taught me, like, yeah, we could keep getting these food stamps, but we got to go out and hunt our food now. We have the tools now. I'm a registered nurse. I'm able to attract certain opportunities. I'm able to be an ATM, if you will, see. Let's just call it what it is. Once I picked up this skill of speaking, like I'm an ATM now. I have the ability to go out and create money. And sometimes when people give you stuff, you got to sit there and wait for them. You know what I'm saying? You're on their time. You know what I'm saying? You're at their leisure. But when you got the tools, bro, and you can go out and hunt on your own, I just feel like Didi taught me. Like it's at this point, now that we have the tools, that it's up to us to go out and get it and not wait for people, you know, to give, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think I don't even, and I agree with you. And I'm thinking about, you know, our own situation, of course. But I guess I'm talking about just let's talk a little bit about the ethical side of it too. You know what I mean? Because like, you know, you hear for real, you hear people say all the time, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? Like you got Brady and them with the deflated footballs. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your take on stuff like that? Like, you know, and I really just want to know from you, because you are probably the most ethical person I know. But like, you know, it's not necessarily like cheating is like a strong word for that. Like, you know, you deflated a couple footballs, or, you know, you cut a couple corners, or you bought a couple followers to make it look a certain way. Like, it's not necessarily like the most egregious act you can, you know, think of. And I understand what you're saying about, you know, the handouts and things of that nature. I want to know from an ethical side, E, because we talk, you know, we see people all the time, like, you know, they say they're going to do something and then they don't deliver, right? And so, or they say they were going to bring you X amount of food and they were going to provide X amount of service. And then when you get there, they end up cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not necessarily, like you said, they're not bad people. You know, it's just, oh, if I use a little less of this and a little less of this, I could save a couple of dollars, and, you know, they end up doing you wrong. But like, speak to that side of it. Like, and like I said, some people will say like, yo, if you ain't cheating, if you ain't cutting corners, like my man next to you cutting corners. It's kind of like the MLB when the steroid era happened, right? It's like everybody on steroids. So if the pitchers on steroids, doggone it, the batters, it's like you could try to be Mr. Up and Up if you want to, but at the end of the day, you about to get beaten. You're going to be out the league. You're not going to make any money. Or you could do what everybody else is doing and catch up. Like, what are your feelings on that?
So for me, see, you know, again, like you said, I feel like ethics, you know, to some extent, you know, it's individual choice. You know what I'm saying? But let me just show people how I see it. You got short ball, you got the long ball. The way I see it, is that you can't do some things to get the advantage immediately, you know, and if people like, you know, Pete Rose, you know, Sammy Sosa, you know what I'm saying, Mark McGwire, you know, and I would even say the New England Patriots, while they've had a measure of success, I don't know in the long run, see if they are going to be looked at as Jackie Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Like Jackie Robinson gone, see? He's not even physically playing the game anymore. But everybody wearing the number 42. Every year, all the teams wear 42. So if you're the type of person where you like, yo, I'm just really on success right now. Like I'm really not on my character. I'm not really on legacy. I'm not really on how people, you know, gonna see me. I'm trying to eat 100%. See, but that's not what I wanted to teach you guys. What I wanted to teach you guys was, you know, storms are gonna come. So if you build your house on sand, you know, when that storm comes, there's a greater chance, see, that house is gonna come down. And when you looked at like New Orleans, with the issue with the levee, like it was stuff that we knew. See, they built the city on shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? They built the city, you know, without, you know, ethics really, like saying like, yo, let's think about 100 years from now, 200 years from now. Let's think about 300 years from now. Let's think about, you know, how the way we're building this structure will impact people. And they didn't think that all the way through, or they thought it through and just thought like, yo, whatever, like, you know, storm may come, it may not come. And we see what happened. See, when that storm came, like it devastated, like forever New Orleans will be devastated. So I'm just saying, when I think,
but how do you make that? Okay, so then I feel you, but how do you make how do you differentiate between, okay, like let's take a guy from the MLB who literally would have been out of a job. Like I'm feeling what you're saying, you want some legendary stuff, but literally if I don't take these performance enhancing drugs, I probably won't be able to keep up, which means I'll be out the league and not making money, my family not, you know, eating, and I'm out the league, and ain't no legacy anyway. So how do you differentiate between,
well, you know, I don't believe that. See, you know, I believe that.
I'm just saying, they might have felt like I'm not going to necessarily be a Hall of Famer without this. I might not even be an All-Star or in the league without this.
But that's a mindset. And what you have to understand, see, is when you give 120% the right way, you will always have a job. You know, I'm just being 100, bro. Like now, if what you're saying is like you giving 70%, you're not getting up early, you're not putting in the grind, you're not putting in the work, then you might be right. You might be out of a job. But here's the deal, see, eventually the dude on that stuff, he out of a job too. Like A-Rod was like, for real, A-Rod.
Yeah, after a couple $100 million though.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm saying, but we got to be truthful. Even they are the anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like everybody who was on the enhancement.
No. I'm talking about the dude who might have been maybe on it that was like, you know, one of the last men on the roster. I ain't even talking about A-Rod and Mark McGwire and them. I'm talking about my man who was just feeding his family. Yeah, got a contract and was feeding his family, trying to get that competitive edge. Because just like it was Mark McGwire and them who needed it to hit 70-some home runs, there was somebody who needed it just to make the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, and so for that person, it's like, yo, I feel what you're saying, get 120, but the deck is stacked against me. And I think a lot of people, even in business and entrepreneurship, you know, you come in here and it's a dog-eat-dog world. Like, for real, I don't know why. I just thought like on the street level, things happened a certain way. And then when you come to business, you know, there's these ethical principles and standards. But one of the things I've learned in entrepreneurship and just dealing with folks, like I've seen some folks who I thought were straight up and down, just real people. I'm talking about cut people and do dirty, you know, sideways stuff. And, you know, we don't even let them play with us like that. So we'll shut it down immediately. But I've just seen like some snaky, sharky people. And it seems like everybody's doing it. And then you trying to build your business on these ethical principles and standards like we are. And honestly, it has cost us quite a bit of money. Like for those of y'all listening, we could have done so many things that probably would have had us with 10 times the money right now we have in our account, but we chose not to do it. And what I'm trying to get through to people today is I really want you to explain how to go about doing that and how to not seek that immediate gratification and trust the process that in the long run, things can work out for you, because right now it seems like a viable option. And I'm not talking about taking chances and putting your family in jail. No. I'm just talking about those tiny corners you can cut to get that advantage. And you know, maybe have to do a couple people sideways to get where you're going. I'm not talking about Bernie Madoff and, you know what I'm saying, like any crazy thing like that, but just not necessarily doing everything by the book and by the standards in which you set for yourself and believe in.
Yeah, and again, I can't answer that, but I can just tell you, as for me and my house, at the end of the day, see, I'm really about what I say I'm about. You know what I'm saying? And it's not money. It's really, I'm about the people, bro. Like I really feel like I've been gifted. We've been gifted. We've been blessed with an opportunity. And I literally just want to help people get to that next level. So for me, it is. I look at it like this, Carl. You know, I never forget, Les Brown told this story about a gentleman who was I guess he was what do you call it? Like not just a builder, see, a contractor, but like a master builder. And his CEO of that particular company was like, look, bro, I need you to do me a huge favor. Like, I'm going to need you to build this crib for me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it was for him or if he said it was for one of their top clients, you know, but he's like, yo, I'm going to need you to knock this out for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to need you to do it almost like, you know, a favor, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give you a little something for it, but we're not about to make a whole lot of money off of this. This is just something we're going to do, you know, as a charity thing or whatever. And they said, my man, you know, he did his thing. Like, he's a master, you know, construction dude. Like, he, you know what I'm saying, carpenter. Like, he did his thing. But he cut a lot of corners, see, and I guess it took him maybe about 8 months to a year to do the house. And so when he finished the house, he went to the, you know, to the CEO. It was like, yo, I'm done, gave him the keys. CEO came to the crib. Like I said, it was subpar. Like, it was a, you know, it was structural. It had no structural damage, but most of the equipment was inferior. You know, he cut some corners on some stuff, and my man threw him the keys. The CEO threw the master carpenter the keys, and he was like, yo, why you throwing me the keys? He was like, yo, it's your crib. And he was stuck. See, like, what? He was like, yeah, that's your crib. He was like, what you mean is my crib? He said, no, I gave you an opportunity to build your house. And he was like, build my house? You told me I was, or you told me. He's like, not really. That's not really what I told you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really listen to me, but that's your house. And my man was hurt because he was like, yo, had I known it was my crib, I would have used, you know what I'm saying? I would have used this, I would have used that.
Yeah, that's what Diddy is on you about when you make her sandwich. She said, how can you make it like you make yours?
Oh, Diddy, no. Y'all don't know what he's talking about. So literally, I would make Diddy an egg sandwich at night. Like, I would make her an egg and whatever kind of sandwich, egg, bacon, whatever it was, I'd make her. And Diddy would be like, yo, that don't taste like it tastes when you making it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what does that mean? She like, I'm just trying to tell you, like, it don't taste the same. So what she would say to me was, she would say to me, yo, go make me a sandwich like you making it for yourself. You know, and so, see, it's so complex to answer your question, but the illustration of that story, see, is like, yo, I try when I'm dealing with people, see, I try to act like I'm doing it for myself or I'm doing it for my brother. So when I'm doing it for you, see, I try like, yo, that's my brother. I try to, when I'm doing something for Carl, like, yo, that's my blood brother. How would I treat my blood brother? You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm dealing with people, it's not, yo, we could get over on these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could do it wrong. No, you got guys who, like, you know, you look at different companies who have like these deals. See, they came up with the deal after another company, you know, outshine them. Or they did. No, we said in the beginning, like, yo, you ain't got to deal with no contract. You come in, you don't like it, like, take, like, whatever, go. Like, I'm not tripping. Get your money back, you know. And so I guess that's the difference for me. See, I'm playing long ball in that I'm thinking about the next 20 years and 30 years. Like, the people we deal with today, our children are going to have to deal with them tomorrow. And our grandchildren might have to deal with them, you know, a couple generations from now. And so I just want to make sure that the bed we making, see, is one that you can lay in and feel comfortable, and not people see me on the street level and it's like, because it's so funny, people will see me by myself. Like, where's your entourage? And I'm saying, like, yo, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't need no bodyguard. I'm not doing nobody shady. Like, I'm not in no shady business. I'm not doing dirt. I'm doing right by people. So when people see me, ain't nobody trying to shoot me. They trying to hug me. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to have a conversation with me. They're trying to share their dreams. So real hard to answer. But my thing is, if you build your house on sand, eventually, maybe it looked just as sweet in the beginning. Maybe it looked better. But when that rain come, when that storm come and it hit it, bro, I said again, we still wearing number 42 and not the Dodgers. Every team in the MLB is wearing that number, bro. And yes, you might put up 60-some home runs in a season, 40-some home run, whatever. But if you do it the wrong way, see, eventually it's going to come crashing down anyway.
Yeah, I was going to jump in there, see. So the hurdle with doing it the short way is that at some point it reveals itself.
Yeah.
At some point it reveals itself. So because he used the house analogy, this is last night. Tamisha and I got the kids to bed by like 9:30, so we actually had a minute to talk last night. And she just remembered, like, so I think I shared this with you, E, but see, well, you know, Tamisha's dad came up and did like a whole bunch of stuff on our house. Like, he does contracting. The front of our house, the material that they made it, and this is just common sense. You do any kind of geography or anything like that, you know, the direction that the sun rises and all that affects moisture levels. So the materials
I love having Carl on the line. See, I
yeah,
never knew that.
Kind of stuff. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, apparently I don't have none. I'm sitting there like, what? I never thought about the direction the sun was right when I told him to build my crib. Right. Put my back door on the front, please.
Right. Thank you, Carl. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good. So no, the way our house is, the front doesn't get sun until like late evening at the side of the sun. So again, we in Michigan. The materials they built, like the entire.
So it ain't that much sun to begin with.
Well, right, yeah, off the cuff. The materials they built the house, the front of the house with, it's like all wood, and a lot of it doesn't seem to be treated wood. So you just got flat out wood up there. And after time, the house probably like 7, 8 years. I don't know how old now, but after time, this stuff just erodes, literally erodes. So Tamisha's dad came, and when he was like, yo, I'll fix all of it. Don't even worry about it. But he started pulling stuff off, and hit, like you could see on his face, he came out, he's like, yo, I don't know how to explain this to y'all, but if y'all had waited through this next winter, he did it last, what was it? It was this year or last year? I don't remember. But he's like, if y'all waited one more year, like your top floor, the erosion is like right at the edge of that top floor right now. And one more year, like your whole top floor would have started eroding in. So you don't know what's happening, but you walking inside and that sucker could have just busted down. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Somebody built the house and it looks fine, see?
Right.
It looks fine.
It looks
but
fine.
He went up there, see, and he took a screwdriver and literally just poked the screwdriver. Not stab or nothing, just like pushed the screwdriver. That sucker went straight through the material. So I'm saying for 7 years it lasted. Absolutely. It looked good. You know what I'm saying? You hit the home runs for 7 years. But at some point your body is going to tell someone you at some point it's going to show up. And I don't know if you got a real strong backup plan when that starts to happen. If you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we
but
just got
here
lucky.
goes the thing. You got to look at it from the builder perspective. My man, like, look, I built it. I got paid. I'm out. I used a little cheaper material. I cut a couple corners. I got the check and I'm gone. And when guess what? When it's time to fix it, that ain't on him. That's on you.
Hey, but listen to this though. Where is he going to go build next? If anybody asks for reviews, he in a world of trouble because I'm not the only person that complained for this. I've heard other neighbors talk about it.
And he gone, Carl. And just to, you know what I'm saying, see, there are people who get away with it. See, you're absolutely right. That's why I said, yo, that's a part that I can't answer.
Well, that's what I'm saying because look, so what happens, and I'm like I said, devil's advocate, that's my job on this podcast. So you got my man who was doing the building who maybe was building them a little cheaper and maybe selling them, you know, whatever, a little cheaper than somebody else who was using all the, you know, great materials or whatever. But had he stepped his materials up, may not have been able to compete in that market and may have had to stop building 7 years ago, let alone if he out of business today, he might have made 7 years worth of loot and been, you know, built up a nest egg. And hey, it wasn't the greatest, but I did what I could. Like what, like.
Yeah, and I can't answer that, see. And I'm saying, I can't answer that because I don't live in that world. Like, that's not my philosophy. And to Carl's point, that guy is no longer building buildings in our subdivision. That guy is out of business. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't look at it as.
That's what you think. He building other careers now. He like bump y'all
Virginia right now.
He down here in Atlanta. He down here in Atlanta building them right now.
And I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying I can't answer that because there are people in life, see, who only want it, who are willing to risk success and have it for a couple weeks. But when you created the podcast, the mixtape, remember on the album I said, it's not, for me, it's not about getting it. It's about keeping it. It's not about getting married, see? It's about staying married. It's not about having kids. It's about having a great relationship with my kids. It's not about having ETA. We've been doing TGIM almost 10 years and running. Like, it's not about getting it for us. It's about keeping it. So I can't speak to the dude who's comfortable, who has a different philosophy, and he's comfortable with only 3 years of success or 5 years of success. I can't speak to him. I'm speaking to the people who want to run the numbers. See, they want to create a dynasty and not a tainted dynasty. They want to be able to create a dynasty and give and pass that on from generation to generation.
See, I'm gonna say if my man's plan is to do it for 5 years and then go and start a golfing career, then absolutely it might work out for him. But if you plan, like he's saying, if you plan to keep building for a long haul, at some point this gonna follow you around. At some point,
you want to give it to your kids. Yeah.
At some point, somebody gonna say something that like it's gonna follow you around. At some point, it's gonna come back to you. Like you can't just walk away from that. It's got to follow you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I definitely feel you. I'm just trying to.
Oh, no questions asked. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see it from the other side.
And I'm stuck. Like I'm.
Because I'm saying, I'm gonna be honest. Most people, that's what most people do. And just to go back to how we started this, most people gonna finish out that month on the food stamps and take advantage of the system because there's a loophole there that allows for it, right? They like already got the food stamps. So again, it's not necessarily illegal to spend the rest of those. Should I turn them in? Probably so. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the end of the day, you're trying to find a loophole. Like, for real, I can remember back in the day, like, yo, it used to be people like, yo, we go to the zoo. your son just turned 3 on Friday.
Oh, no doubt.
They like 3 and under. I mean, two and under is free. You like, oh, my man, 2 still, right? Like I'm saying, it's not necessarily illegal. It's a little white lie, but you know, I didn't have to pay that $20 for my man. You know what I'm saying? And so there are people who live life that way. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of being like, yo, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna be real. Every time I go to self-checkout, I'm tempted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know you got the organic joints. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the price between the organic avocados and the regular, and when I put them on the scale, it gives me a choice every time, organic or regular. And I'm like, I should just hit y'all with the regular just because I got to ring these out myself. So that's my surcharge for, you know, checking out myself.
Right.
But I always hit organic anyway and pay the extra. Okay, so I look, I hate that I got to act like I'm the only human being on this podcast. Carl and E perfect. The devil don't never tempt them. They good. They got all the morals in the world. Ain't nobody nobody else ever thought of
organic
ringing up your avocados as bananas. You know what I'm saying?
I can come up with some other stuff that I've done, and we will mention that. But I never even thought of that. I'm like, unbelievable.
Bro, I'm talking about I was there yesterday, bro. And I put it up on the screen, and it was, you know, it like search by name. So I put in A, V, like to go to avocado, and then boom, it came up. And it was 4 different options from highest to lowest. And I sat there and I had the highest quality avocados you can get. And I promise you, I wanted to put in, this is a potato, Idaho potato.
Hey, here's the sad part though. I'm gonna think about that the next time I go to the thing. But hey, see, I wanted to say this though, and it, you know, this is, you know, of course, you know, much higher level of thinking. But I can say that I believe what Didi did, you reap what you sow. You know, so for me, I feel like with Didi saying that, she really put us in a position where we have, from that day forward, and stuff happens, and so we can't, you know, so we got to be cautious of, you know, how I say what I'm about to say. But Didi put us in a mind state of we're not relying on anybody else from this day forward. Doesn't mean we can't get help. But our go-to is not going to be to have somebody else look out for it. And it changed everything. See, like, it changed my, you know, for real. I was, can I say settled, bruh? Like, I knew we had a check, and I told you. And okay, so good. This is for C, and we're not perfect. Because remember, you're in your 30s.
Finally.
Are we about to get a confession out of ET?
No. All I'm saying is what C fails to recognize is that when he hits his 40s, almost 50s, he gonna be a different person. So let's go back in my 30s, C, so we can compare apples to apples, because we compare apples to oranges right now. I'm
no
almost
pun
50
intended.
years old.
I want to
Avocados to bananas, right? So in my 30s, right? So what you know? So what Didi's thing was though was, you know, like somebody else could use this money, but for me, I'm thinking like, yo, this is a guaranteed like rent, because I wasn't using it, at that time for food. It was food stamps, but they would give us a check. And the check happened to be for the exact amount of my rent. And what I didn't realize, by taking the money and not having Didi mindset, remember what I told you, that was Didi that took it back. I never said I took it back. That was Didi. I never said one moment I ever thought about giving them their money back. I was gonna let that sucker run out. We're gonna let that sucker run out till they call us.
This is a blessing.
Right.
Who am I to deny the state's blessing to me?
No. And I prayed about it. So I knew it was a blessing, right? But what Didi did for me that I didn't realize was, as long as that $285 was coming to pay that rent, I was chilling. I had a safety net, And that's why I'm saying sometimes you just got to do it on your own. You can't let people do certain things for you, because it does take away that initiative sometimes. It does take away that bite. And I believe it is the initiative, it is that bite that separates us, I think we all born with certain gifts. I think we're all born with at least one talent. I think we all have opportunities. Some of us just have a greater bite than others. Some of us just, we're hungry. Like, I'm being real. You know, I look at, you know, some entertainers, or like Michael Jordan. And I think with Michael Jordan, this is probably unfair. This is probably why I always say Michael Jordan is better than, you know, most basketball players that ever played. And I guess, you know, we talk stats, But I got to be real. Sometimes I don't think I'm being fair when I talk about Michael Jordan because I'm not comparing stats to stats. I'm not comparing years to years. Now that I sit here and really think about it, I always say MJ is better, and it's not the 6 rings. It's that dog. It's that dog that I'm really talking about. And I'm really not talking about how many NBA finals he's won or MVPs or, scoring titles. Like, now that I think about it, I'm really saying Michael Jordan is the best dog that ever played the game, is the most, the hungriest person I've ever seen in my life to win a championship and not be settled, to win 6 in a row and to have this insatiable desire to win another one. You know what I'm saying? And so I think what Didi was saying to me is like, yo, you losing that dog. Like, you sitting on the couch, you playing video games. Like, in your mind, you feel like our rent is paid, so you good. And when that was taken away from me, see, it made me fight in a way that I had never fought before. And so I guess I'm saying when you cut corners, you have to be careful, because when you cut corners and you're building yourself up in one area with that juice, with those steroids, you killing something else though that's in you, that if you relied on that, maybe that could take you to the next level. I don't know. I can't say for certain, but I just want to say we need to be cautious, man, because when you lose that dog, when you lose that fight, when people give you certain things and you have that spirit of entitlement and you're not getting up and going after it, it could be dangerous, because I think it's that dog that gets us certain things, and not just our skill set, not just our talent, not just our ability. When that dog kick in, I feel like it takes you to a whole nother level.
Of all the funny things that E has told us about his past, Carl, I think the hardest one for me to wrap my mind around is E sitting around playing video games.
Video games, yeah, no doubt.
I just, like, every time you say that, I try to visualize it, and I just can't even see, like, you playing video games. Like, that's a hilarious thing to picture. But,
it's still speaking there, right, E, or not yet?
Yeah,
I
was
still
speaking. Yeah, I was speaking, of course, because I started when I was 19, 20, but it was a different speaking. Hey, it was a safari. I'm waiting for the whatever you call my man, the keeper of the safari. I'm waiting for my man to throw me in that meat, and he was bringing it. You know what I'm saying? I was getting it every month, and I was waiting for my man to eat that joint. And Didi was like, we about to go to the Serengeti, and we about to go get our own food. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's
out on here and get it on your own.
Yeah, I guess that's the way.
Wow.
Well, look, man, if you looking to not cut corners, man, and do it the right way, go with PayPal, man. Let me tell you something. PayPal. Again, I do it every time, don't I?
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, I do that smooth.
Yeah,
butter,
that way.
Butter.
Load on the track like a segue. This segment is brought to you by PayPal. PayPal now has a special $550K offer for our listeners, right? PayPal understands that running a business is complex and time-consuming, and it requires a lot of upfront capital, which is why PayPal Working Capital is offering you the opportunity to boost your cash flow. All right, so boost it with a $5,000 business loan from PayPal Working Capital for a limited time. Accept $50,000 in payments with PayPal and get pre-selected for a $5,000 business loan with no credit check or personal guaranteed required. All you have to do is follow these basic steps, all right? Sign up for PayPal business account and start accepting payments within 60 days. Process at least $50,000 in payments and apply for PayPal Working Capital within 240 days. If approved, your funds will be deposited into your PayPal account automatically. For additional terms and conditions to apply for the $550K promotion, please visit paypal.com/success for more information. That's paypal.com/success for more information. And shout out to PayPal for being a loyal sponsor of the podcast. We appreciate you guys. E, I want to take this just in another direction, because as we're talking, it reminds me, and I don't remember, Carl, you have to help me. I think it was a sermon. Maybe you preached last week. But here's the thing. Having good morals and values and all of those things in and of itself is also not going to make you a millionaire and not going to take you to that next level in business. And I remember you were preaching. You were like, you had this moment where you were like, God, I'm doing everything right. I'm tithing. I'm getting up. I'm worshiping. I'm reading my Bible. I'm being a good father and a good husband, and I'm not having this success. And you talked about how that in itself is not going to guarantee you success either. So talk to the people out there that feel like, man, I'm a good person, I'm listening to the podcast, I'm going to school, or I'm in business, I got my wife, I'm doing right, you know what I'm saying? I'm living my life right, and I'm still not having that success. And they feel like, man, how is it that I'm doing all of this right and I'm still not blowing up?
Yeah, I liken it to, see, a dude who's bench pressing. You know what I'm saying? You bench pressing, you doing pull-up. Okay, let's just go with bench pressing. You doing push-ups. And Carl, you going in the mirror every day like, what's wrong with my abs?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you eating, you doing a protein shake, bro. I'm talking about, bro, you doing push-ups.
See, I had that moment this morning. I put my t-shirt on and that sucker was so loose I felt my arm like, yo, what? I swore I just did some push-ups and it ain't nothing happening.
But you've been praying though. You know what I'm saying? You have been praying. You have been going to church. But I'm saying, see, just in a nutshell, to make it real simple, if you're doing push-ups, you're going to see your triceps, maybe biceps, your chest muscles. You will see those muscles, increase, and you'll see, some results depending on, the technique or whatever, how you do what you do. But you're not going to really see what what you would get if you did squats, or you're not going to see abs. Why? Because you're not concentrating on that area. And I think that's what I was doing wrong. I was concentrating on the spiritual, and God was saying, you reaping what you sow. Like, look who you brought in your life. You got C in your life from being moral. It's a moral dude. You got Carl in your life. It's a moral dude. You got dudes willing to work for you, and you ain't even like physically, like they're not getting a paycheck per se. So how are you able to pull it off? Because you moral, bro. These dudes know they could trust you. And so you're getting what you get when you're trustworthy. You're getting what you get when you say you're going to do something. Okay, real quick, guys, because I forgot the last 6 podcasts to talk about this. But I was me and Didi, when we were in Clearwater for our anniversary and her birthday celebration, I got up early in the morning and went to, remember I told you guys I went to the ER. I thought something was wrong with me when my girl told me it was just a man cold.
The man cold.
Right, the man cold. but what was so funny, guys, is I didn't take any money with me, and I told the dude, the valet dude at 3 in the morning, like, yo, what time you get off work? He was like 7. I was like, I'm gonna bring you a tip when I come back. But you know how it is. See, when you say it, you mean it with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. You mean it. Like, bro, I got you, right? So I was, the ER, bro, it was 3 of us in there, bro. Why does it take 3 hours for 3 people? Like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but it took almost 3 hours.
You got to check that insurance and make sure it's valid.
For sure they trying to check that.
They got to check that.
I never thought about that. That's what they checking, that insurance. So I get back to the hotel, and y'all know the drill. I see my man, he take the car. I go up to the room. You know what's on my mind. Like, yo, bro, that was 3 hours ago when I told my man I was going to give him a tip. In my mind, see, I'm like, bro, I promise you I don't feel like walking back down. I was on the 8th floor. I don't feel like walking back downstairs and giving my man no tip. Long story short, I went back downstairs and I gave him a tip. I say that to say I attracted you guys because I do what I say I'm going to do. So you guys trust me. You know what I'm saying? But that has nothing to do with business. And I'm going to have Carl give you guys an example, because I want Carl to tell us, let's just say, Carl, I don't know how our Instagram blew up. Like, what were some of the things that when you looked at the analytics, like what were some of the things that they said that we needed to do? And this is why I want you guys to hear, because praying would help me in my spiritual life. Fasting was helping me in my spiritual life. Reading Who Moved My Cheese helped me with my mindset. The 5 love languages helped me with my marriage. That has absolutely nothing to do with taking the podcast or taking our Instagram or taking our Twitter page to the next level. So let's talk explicit knowledge now, Carl, because the knowledge for marriage don't spill over to business. Yeah. So let's talk about what we did specifically to take maybe our social media to the next level.
Yeah, so I'm just saying the first thing you got to do, you got to be attractive. That's the word, the key word that I use. People need to be drawn to your content first of all. It's not just, so the main thing that we stayed away from was selling. A lot of people come on, the first thing you see is like, hey, you love this lifestyle, don't you? You see me with the pool or whatever. We wanted nothing close to that. So we wanted to make sure that when you came to our stuff that you got great content, but you felt like somebody cared for you. Okay, so that's cool. That's the moral part that we established. But then there's simple things that you got to do. You got to make sure you get people coming back. So you want to put content out there that, okay, like part 1, you know what I'm saying? Part 2, like there's just tangible stuff you got to do. You got to, and you blanket in social media, but there are different strategies for each one. You don't do the same thing on Twitter that you do on Instagram. There are different platforms. You don't do the same thing on Facebook. There are different demographics. You got to study the demographics of each platform to know, you know, who's on the platform, who's, what age group, you know, what professions are more likely to be on this, what gender is more likely to be on this platform. So Instagram is largely female. I don't know if people know that. So hence a lot of the imagery, you know, that you see on Instagram. So it's a whole different like ball game how you approach it than just like you said, just being moral and being good and having great ideas and sharing. It's a whole strategy behind it.
Yeah, and so I just go back to say then, see, that that I had this thought process that if I prayed, if I went to church, if I did right by my wife, if I did right by my children, and it was like, that has nothing to do with it, son. 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard him say, like, you need to read books about a business. You guys need to go to professional development, corporate training. We just had 2 bro, this has never happened in my life as a CEO. We had 2 trainers. We had Chris come in on Friday, and then on Monday, we had another Chris.
Another Chris. Yeah.
Another Chris.
It's the weekend of Chris.
You know what I'm saying? So one Chris came in on Friday and really did an assessment of the group. Like, we read great, good to great. So who is on our team? You know, what seats are available on the bus? Who should be on the bus? Again, what seat should they be sitting in on the bus? Who should be driving the bus? How fast should the bus be going? What's the specific direction of the bus? So that was just people. And then when we met with the other Chris on Monday, that wasn't anything about any personnel. You know, who does this, who does that. The one we did on Monday was all about the company. Like, what does where's the holes and the gaps in the company? And what do we do to fix that? So guys, I just realized, like, yo, E, you could pray as much as you want, and you're probably gonna be a very moral person. You could take care of Didi all you want to, and you're probably gonna be seen as a great husband by her. But to make money, there's an explicit knowledge that you need to make money. And that's what I realized, see, that you can't, while they touch each other, they don't always spill over to each other.
Got it. Yeah, no, and I guess, and I'm not even on, just give the people an encouraging word though, who, because I feel what y'all saying, but I'm talking about the people who have the skill, right? They're doing the right things, you know, in their mind, but they're still getting lapped by, that person that's cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about you just praying and you ain't doing nothing, like you don't know your line of business. I'm talking about you praying and you feel like you're doing the right thing, and you still not winning.
Well, okay, then you need to look at us, and you need to look at us and say, yo, I remember when ET them first came out, and I remember, you know, the stuff that they were doing, and some of the other maybe people that were out when they were out. Because let's be real, see, I'm not gonna call no names, but there were motivational speakers, or there were individuals who were what you might want to call social media sensations when we came out with the guru story that you don't hear about today. And there's some that are out now that it might appear that these people, you know, are running circles on us, but you see we doing it the right way, and you keep every year. It was so funny, somebody hit me with, yo, E, I just heard you on the, and then I heard you on the, and E, was that you on the Wingstop commercial? Like, E, with that, you know, I'm getting so many texts from that commercial. It's unreal. But what we're showing people is, number one, we're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're trying to keep up with us. So if the one thing you know about CJ, C is the only one that may be going out and looking at our competitors and seeing what some of the good things that they're doing, some of the things that, you know, maybe we don't want to mimic that may be good that they're doing, but we don't want to mimic. But what C has taught us as a company, that ain't y'all job. I don't want y'all out here studying. Like, C might go to their conference, or C might, you know, read some of their material, but he got us focused on, hey, y'all do those videos. Hey, y'all, you make sure you do the Tuesday Power Up. E, make sure, you know, you mic'd up. Like, we not on that. And so what we've been taught is like, yo, I'm driving the bus. Y'all don't worry about that. Y'all worry about when you sitting on the bus doing what y'all supposed to do. So we laser focused on us. We're not watching nobody else. We're not concerned about what other people are doing. We are mastering our lane, knocking our lane out the box, and we're doing it the right way. And our numbers keep growing, our fan base, our family keeps growing, our opportunities keep getting deeper. So I would just say to that person, if you're doing the right thing and you don't see the results that you want, it's only a matter of time. Yeah. And Carl, man, let me tell you something. I think, CJ, I don't know if you said it or my biological father said it, but when I moved into my neighborhood, it was just me and one other house. Somebody came to my house and was like, yo, y'all done built up not only this block and that block, now y'all got a whole nother subdivision in your subdivision. So just give it time. Keep laying the bricks. Keep doing what's right. And you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be further than you thought.
Can you speak to this? Because here's the thing, and I'm just being real. This is just facts, like, you know, from my observation, right? And E and Carl, y'all can speak to this. One of the things that, you know, from my spiritual folks and my folks who are doing it the right way, one of my frustrations is when we go around these dudes who are maybe, you know, a bit unscrupulous, who, you know, have, you know, defects in their character and stuff like that. One thing I can say about them, if I can give them a compliment right now, they go hard in the paint, with their shadiness, right? They go hard. I'm talking about these dudes grind. Like, they not playing no games. Like, every day they wake up like, how can we get over on people? And they putting out systems. They got doggone analytics. They got everything. And for us, those of us who try to do it like in this, you know, real moral manner and stuff like that, sometimes I feel like that, like, people think that equates to being soft, E, where it's like, you know, you kind of just, you passive about it. It's like, no, we found that balance. You have to tell the people that we found that balance between doing it morally and still going hard and getting everything that, you know, we would have for us, the Lord would have for us. We went hard for that. Like, we still go hard for that. Like, we wake up every day and grind towards that. And I feel like some of my people on, you know, this side of the ball, we kind of ho-hum about it. But like, yo, you still got to get up and go after it with everything you got. You still got to get every penny that's owed to you, right? We're not saying because you know, spiritual, you can't, you know, make money, whatever. But I feel like sometimes, you know, that part of it kind of makes people soft, E. And I think you more than, and I'm not going to take any credit for it. E is obviously our leader and the one who got us on that mentality. But we go hard in the paint, bro. And we're not about to let you because you shady. You're not about to outwork us. You're not about to outgrind us, outthink us, nothing. So while you thinking of how to get over on people, we thinking just as hard how we can be a blessing to people. Can you speak on that real quick before we get off of this?
And this is what I meant earlier when I said I do apologize that I don't always, you know what I'm saying, communicate like the lowest common denominator. But that's what Didi said. Didi said to me, why do you think when we pray and we ask God for a blessing, why do you think that means we gotta wait? Why do you think that means we gotta wait on another source to bless us? Why do you think that means that we gotta be on food stamps? Didi was like, yo, we needed it for a minute. But she was like, yo, I want you to shift your thinking. What I want you to see is that the blessing that God has for us, a part of that blessing is going after it and getting it. And so if you get up early, if we do what we're supposed to do, if we're in school and we take care of our school business. Look, the thing I respect about Didi, when everybody else did what the teachers told them to do, the professors told them to do, you know, they graduated, got their degree. Didi was one of the only ones that passed her bar on the first time. Why? Because Didi said, okay, they did their part, but now I'm going to go to the other university and I'm going to study the NCLEX with them. So what this school helped us to get our degree. Didi went and studied with the other big university and paid C to take the course. Everybody else is like, well, we're gonna take the test anyway. Why we gotta pay to take the test? Like, we've already been in school. Didi was like, I'm going to pay and I'm gonna take this test for, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it wasn't 6 months. Maybe it was 6 weeks, 3 months. I don't remember. I just know she passed on the first time. And what Didi taught me in the flesh was sometimes when you spiritual, you get this, I'm waiting on G. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a weight thing, and I can't explain it. But it
Jesus
almost
coming home on Tuesday, so I ain't got to go to class.
No, I'm being for real. See, like, if he coming back anyway, what difference do you know what I'm saying? Like, why grind? He coming back next week. He coming back in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even make sense to start this degree. Or you go get the degree, but you don't do it with the vigor. Like, you don't do it with the tenacity of somebody that feel like he ain't never coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't never coming. And so I'm saying you got to strike that balance. But I've learned, like, yo, E, it doesn't, when you spiritual, when you a good person, you're trying to be moral, it does not mean wait on stuff. It doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, that you sit back and you wait on a blessing. It means you go out and you know as a lion when you go out, there's some gazelles somewhere. And you know if you go walk 3 or 4 miles, you're going to meet the gazelles. And y'all heard this story before, but I never forget when Bob told me, Bob came over to the crib, my car was broke down. I was in a very, a dark place. Like C said, I had been doing the right thing and hadn't really seen it. I was working at the Olive Garden, kind of tired of kind of doing that a little bit. And I'll never forget, Bob was like, what you doing? I'm like, yo, Bob, my car broke down. He's like, I thought you had to be to work at 12. I was like, I do. He's like, yo, bruh, it's 11 o'clock. Like, what you doing? And I'm like, yo, B, I ain't got no transportation. I'm gonna have to call in, whatever. He was like, yo, walk. I was like, yo, B, bro, I can't walk all the way there. He said, who said you had to walk all the way there? But you think you're gonna get a ride from in here? You think somebody gonna give you a ride from your living room, bruh? Ain't nobody come knock on the door and say, yo, E, you wanna ride to work? He was like, yo, put on your uniform, put on your shoes and go walk. I promise you, God is my witness, bro, on everything I love. I start walking up, I think it's Jordan Lane. I start walking up Jordan Lane. There's a Stanley O's and there's a church across the street. As soon as I got to the top of the hill, bro, somebody pulled over like, yo, E, what up? I'm like, what up? They're like, where you going? I'm like, yo, I need to ride to work. They're like, I got you. And so I'm just saying what C is saying, if you out there and you feel like stuff ain't happening, like don't make that make you quit. Go harder. 3 o'clock in the morning. We doing videos in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. We doing conferences. We doing podcasts. We doing commercials. We doing mixtapes. We doing books. We doing kids books. Like whatever it takes, we'll do whatever it takes. And so don't let your frustration make you stop. Make your frustration keep pressing and keep going. And just know, like C said, we're not competing, like for real. We talk the talk, but we're competing against ourselves. And I'm telling you, your day is going to come, but it's not going to come if you quit.
Hey, at the Take Control event, you said something huge, or one of y'all, I don't remember which one it was.
It was me.
It's probably C.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was me. But it was deep. It was me.
I don't know if y'all remember the dude that was saying he shared his idea. And he was like, well, I'm trying to do this and all that. And whichever one of y'all it was like, yo, what are you waiting for? Is it permission? Like, are you asking me for permission? And I think that's something that a lot of people, kind of get stuck with. So right after we left meeting with Chris on Monday, I sat down with the staff, we ate, and we had that discussion. And literally, and just for you listening, we got some people in the company that, have other skill sets. Of course, we need a particular role done. But for whatever reason, we've stopped doing the other role that we like or the other thing that we have that skill set for because we've kind of like, pigeonholed ourselves. Okay, I'm doing customer service, so I'm going to handle customer service. I'm like, okay, when customer service is done, at a certain time of the day, what are you doing? Like, we live in Lansing. I ain't trying to be funny. Y'all ain't got a whole lot of activities to be doing outside of it. But it's like, what are you doing? Like, what extra things could you be doing? Like, if you like doing something else, why aren't you putting an hour or two extra in that at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't you, like, and these are, great. See, I was like, wow, like, great ideas from the media side. Hey, I was thinking that we could do this. And I'm like, well, why aren't we doing that?
And great people.
And great people. Phenomenal people. No question on that. But it's like, the hurdle is it's almost like some of us are waiting for permission from somebody else to do the thing that you love to do the thing that you want to do, that you're passionate about. You don't have to wait. I promise you, an hour a day, dedicate that. If nothing else, 30 minutes a day, start somewhere on the thing that you're passionate about. I don't care what job you have. I don't care how many kids you have. Honestly, find that 15 minutes. I'm saying whatever time you can put to it, you find the 5, you find the 10, you find the 15, and dedicate that 15 minutes to doing that thing. And I'm telling you, like E's saying, just build and build. You can't lose. You cannot lose with that. You just keep building, but you do not need permission from anybody on planet Earth to do what you're doing. Nothing.
You know what else you can't lose with?
Organifi.
Organifi. You cannot lose with Organifi, guys. So here's the deal. To truly thrive in all areas of your life, you cannot ignore the importance of health, all right? We've learned that firsthand, and for many of us, time is our most valuable asset. This is why we love Organifi green juice, an organic superfood green juice powder. You just add water and get your greens anytime. When you invest in your health, you gain more time because you have more energy and focus throughout the day. The best thing about Organifi green juice is that it actually tastes good. And for our listeners, we have a special deal so you can try it yourself. Use the code SUCCESS at Organifi.com to receive 20% off your order. That's promo code SUCCESS at Organifi.com to receive 20% off your order. Again, Organifi is spelled ORGANIFI. Use the code SUCCESS to receive 20% off. Listen, guys, go try it. I keep telling you, it's going to put your energy up, your mental clarity. I didn't have it. I was on struggle when we were back in Michigan over the weekend. I forgot to grab it some kind of way. We packed up, and I felt the difference, man. I definitely didn't feel like I was as sharp as I had been just by
Come to my crib next time. Come to my crib next time. I didn't even have time. I was like, Lord, I would have brought you some over. Hey.
Yeah, I wish you could have. We were in Detroit, but I was hurt. I left it, man, just because, like I said, I'm on it 3 times a day now. I told y'all, morning, noon, and night. I'm making sure I'm hitting it, man, and I'm feeling great. So shout out to Organifi. I'm actually getting ready to push my reorder button because I'm getting low over here, man. But Organifi.com, guys, promo code SUCCESS. Check it out. Get yourself that energy and that clarity you need. I know some people, man, around 2:30, 3 o'clock, you start feeling a little sluggish. Man, get on this Organifi, man, and take your stuff to the next level. And shout out to everybody who's been hitting me, saying that they're trying it and they're loving it. I've been getting text messages. We've been getting emails from people saying, yo, the Organifi is dope. Thank you for recommending it. So go check it out yourself. Real quick, you kind of breezed by it, but I'm sure the people heard it. Maybe some people have heard it, and I promise y'all gonna hear it. Y'all probably gonna get tired of hearing it throughout the next couple months. Because it's football season, but did I hear you say you were on a Wingstop commercial?
Yeah, Wingstop commercial. Yeah.
The vegan thought is back. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
somebody called Didi out on Facebook yesterday. Somebody was like, "Yo, Didi, was that ET on the commercial?" So, Didi don't know nothing about no commercial. She don't know what's going on. So Didi was like, trying to find it. It was like, oh yeah, that is him. And she was like, yo, I thought he was a vegan. She said, hey, here's what Didi said. Didi said he got to pay for his vegetables some kind of way.
No doubt. Hey, but you know what I said? You got reparations on the chicken too. The chicken has been good to you for 40-some years. How dare you? Because you've been a vegan for 4 days.
For 4 days.
You know what I'm saying, Carl?
You feel
been a vegan 4 days.
4 days.
You want to deny the chicken and all he's done for you in your life.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got a special relationship with that bird, boy. So hey, but also, what C said was so important, and we'll get to this. Maybe we'll get to the Mayweather-McGregor fight, at some point. But one of the things that I think I want to make sure that the listeners catch from this is that, guys, when you for real are good at what you do, you don't take corners. You don't cut corners, guys. Look at what we're doing. We went from doing free videos, and shout out to all of our fam, whether it's blood fam or you fam through BU or fam through the book or the video. I was with Jameis the other day, and he was like, me and Didi, and we were together with him and his girl, and we were having prayer and stuff, and he said to Didi, I felt like, through the book, I know y'all. He was like, I know it's the book and everything, but there's so many people out there, that feel like they know us and we fam, and they call. Yo, do you know that you know how many calls I got? Do you know they stole your voice? E, you know anything about, saying, E, they stole you. Make sure you get that check.
For a low price, they stole it. They stole it for a low price.
So I just want to encourage all of you out there that are doing your thing and you're not taking shortcuts, man. Look at us, man, for real. Look at us as a model, and now we are in other, spaces, in other genres. We done went from a mixtape, bruh, to an album to doing commercials and, on other artist stuff. I might be, oh man, I'm gonna kill myself that I can't think of my man's name. Oh, y'all gonna kill me. What's my man's name? Who used to do all the hooks? He recently passed. He's from L.A., Oakland. He used to do Nate Dogg. I might be the new Nate Dogg.
Come on, Regulators. Come on, Regulators.
I might be the new Nate Dogg.
It's the G-Funky, bro. What? That was my joint right there. You couldn't tell me nothing about that. I used to have that on repeat. Nah, man, I'm just grateful for myself. that I stayed on you about doing voiceovers.
Oh,
man,
no
used to,
doubt.
I'm talking about he used to cuss
rough.
me out. Like that was like our main source of contention.
No questions asked.
No shortcuts.
questions asked. Yeah.
I'm talking about he used to be like, see, I'm just saying, bruh, I'm an off-the-cuff speaker. I speak from the heart. How you got me reading these scripts? I don't care how much it is.
I remember, well, you come over here and try it then. Come read it. It's in your head.
Yeah,
I can't get it out. It's in your head.
Yeah, that was the breaking point right there. That's when I knew I broke it. That's when he was like, you come do it. See, you got all the ideas and all the answers. Yeah. And now and let me tell you something. For 15 seconds, my.
Oh,
I'm glad I stayed on
our way to greatness.
Daniel's son became Mr. Miyagi for once in the relationship.
No question.
And I was able to get on you about that. But we'll talk about that later on, man.
And Danielson fought. Yeah, and Danielson fought.
Hey, I do want to talk about that in depth because, and we don't have time now, but we had some lessons and some takeaways from the Mayweather McGregor fight that we need a whole podcast for that. And so I do want to jump into Ask ET, of course, brought to you by BreatheUniversity.com. We got a special thing that E and I been working on the last few weeks, which we're going to tell you guys about in the coming weeks, but an opportunity with Breathe University that's just going to be tremendous for our current students, as well as, those of you who decide to join us here shortly. So BreatheUniversity.com, make sure you come check us out, man, and check out what we're building. Guys, we got quite a few questions. I want to find the best ones. Let's go. Before we do that, we didn't say it last week because I guess we got busy and forgot. Let me get your initial thoughts because there's a few questions in there from people about what you guys think about the Cleveland-Boston trade. So let's get our PTI on for a quick second.
Shocked, bruh. I mean, I'm just going to be real, bro. I was shocked, but I will say this. If it happens, is it going to happen? See, because I heard Kyrie.
I think it's still going to happen, but there was some concerns with the physical, but I don't know. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. So I guess for me, and remember what I told y'all, man, Kyrie was one of those, one of the athletes that I met that really had an impression upon me, but here's a kid, who I think at that time he might have been, I probably spoke to them his freshman year and his sophomore year, and I just remember how locked in he was. And I don't know if you remember, but he actually went on Twitter and made a comment afterwards. Yeah. And I just remember how he was had the eye of a tiger, man, and he was just so focused on every word, and you could just see that competitive nature in him, that winner, And my thing is, when you're a leader like that, a winner like that, you do think about, your future and what you want to leave as a legacy in the league. And so I commend him because I felt like, with LeBron going to Miami and then LeBron coming back, there's rumors that he may not stay based on the relationship that he has, with ownership, So I'm like, I feel Kyrie in that I'm not going to allow my career to be predicated on the decisions that LeBron makes. I want to be in control, of my career. I want to be in control of my destiny. So for me, I don't know how the trade is really going to work out, who benefits, who doesn't. But I do, just as somebody who is really deep about personal freedom and that whole nine and the way the market is going this year, I felt that he made a good decision. We'll see 10 years from now if it was the best decision, but I think he made a good decision in saying, I want to control my own destiny.
So I kind of went half of where E went, and from a different perspective though. And what I mean by that is, so you in a situation where, and no disrespect to LeBron, but LeBron is the king. You know what I'm saying? I think it's 2 or 3 other players on the team are under LeBron's sports agency. So you're in a situation where literally, he's controlling the team. And no disrespect. I don't think he's doing anything to hurt the team. But from the perspective of, at some point, little brother want to make his own decisions. You know what I mean? You can't always be little brother. You know what I mean? At some point, you want to grow up and feel like you got control of your own destiny. So that part of what he's saying, I completely agree with. But then, see, I kind of flip. Can you imagine? I just go back. Can you imagine Pippen okay, I'm out, Jordan. I don't care what we did. what it looked like I'm out. There's still that part of it that I'm struggling with. Like, man, y'all have done so much together. Y'all have created this thing. And quiet as kept, it's still the best opportunity to me. That duo is still the best opportunity to have a chance at doing anything in the East Coast. Like, other than that, I'm pretty much shutting the East Coast down.
I'm saying, what do you have to gain, though? What do you have to gain if you win another championship with LeBron James? Like, what do you have to gain? Yeah, Kobe and, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen did everything together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? LeBron won one with Bosh and Wade. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even like it's going to go down in history that they were the best duo ever. LeBron already won with Dwayne Wade. So I'm just saying, to me, what do you seek to gain if you win 3 championships under LeBron's umbrella? You know what I'm saying? What does Kyrie get for that in terms of
what do you get for going to Boston and finishing second in the East for the rest of the time?
Right, yeah.
But here's the deal, though. But here's the deal, though. See, LeBron ain't gonna be around forever. So maybe you do sacrifice.
Okay, then why not just stay there and take over when he leaves?
Until he leaves. That's what I was. Yeah, absolutely.
Hello.
LeBron could
I
be
ain't
gone
the smartest
next year.
man in the world, but you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Well, you can. You know what I'm saying? LeBron got it at 82. You know what I'm saying? He did get that opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, though, man.
But I'm just saying, if you stay in Cleveland after it took this many years to win, it's always going to be LeBron's. And I don't have a problem with that. Y'all know me. I don't have no problems with being a player, you know, on a team. I don't have no problems with that. But I'm just saying, the world we live in now, you talk about Scottie and Michael Jordan. They're not even on that no more, see? Carl, nobody's not even on it. Everybody is, I'm not saying everybody, but we do live more into a society where it's about the individual and what can the individual accomplish and what can the individual do. So I just think he's taking advantage of the society that we live in today. It is what it is. Everybody leaving and going somewhere
Well, you know what I
else.
say, at the end of the day, you know, I'm grown now. You know what I mean? I got a family. I got to do what's right, you know, for my family, and everybody else does too. And it's like, yo, they dog Kyrie for going to Boston because he ain't got no shot and he not playing with superstars, and they dog KD for going and playing with Steph and Draymond and Clay. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you're not really going to make anybody happy with any move you make other than staying put. And I think that the only person I kind of feel bad for in this situation, to be honest, is Isaiah Thomas. Like, Lord have mercy. My man put his heart and soul on the line, came back after losing his sister and put up 50 in the playoffs. And I'm like, they like, you out of here. I'm like, wow, that was pretty savage. And you can see why now for all y'all who feel like athletes not loyal to they squad and they dip out. I'm just being for real, man. Y'all saw, and nothing against Boston. It's business. That's what we're talking about today. It's business, you know, and they saw an opportunity to get better and they took it. But at the end of the day, man, you know, you got to do what's best for you. And so I'll be honest, in terms of basketball, from a trade standpoint, it was kind of like, you're like, I don't really know how much is going to change. Like, Isaiah Thomas is a beast. But guess what he is? He is a scoring point guard that's undersized and, you know, maybe a little challenged on defense. So I actually don't see a whole lot changing other than the fact that, you know, I guess Cleveland did get another piece in Crowder. I'm not sure about the big fella. But Crowder's a good perimeter defender, and so I think the thing that Boston,
he's supposed to stop Draymond Green. So we'll see what.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's gonna stop Draymond Green, but I say this: in the East, he might have been Boston's best answer for LeBron, and so you know, if you the Cavs, you took him away, you know, from being able to. Not that anybody gonna stop LeBron, but you know, to me, it just kind of felt like not a lateral move because I think Kyrie. I shouldn't say that. Isaiah was a baller, so I don't know if he's healthy, man. Who knows? It might be an interesting, you know, switching dynamics, and you know, we shall see going forward.
Hey, the one thing we know is he got forever to rest in the East and get healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt.
So,
I'm talking about you don't even need to get ready till right around May. You know what I'm saying? We'll have you ready.
Yeah, so he good.
Let's see. All right, let's jump into, man, and thank you guys for shortening your questions on the Ask ET segment. You guys have been great about getting me some stuff I can read and not the 4-page emails. So let's go over to, let's do Sean in South Carolina, who said, hey guys, love the podcast. Thank you so much for talking about health, dieting, and exercise. I'm about 100 pounds overweight and I desperately want to lose it. I've lost anywhere from 15 to 30 before, but eventually gained it right back. You guys have convinced me to get back on track. And I want to do it for good this time, but need some help staying focused. ET, what do you got?
Okay, well, first of all, C said it in a couple weeks. We got something for you, like for real, not just to ask the question, but we have a tool that we're gonna put in place that's gonna really help you. But I'll say this, man. You guys know I'm deep into the intrinsic, extrinsic motivators. That's my thing, and I think the reason why we have a hard time making stuff into a lifestyle, is because we don't have the right motive pushing us. And as I said before, it's almost like I'm cheating with my diet, because it's, I should say my lifestyle, because I'm doing it for something greater than me. I'm doing it for my wife's health. So it's not like I'm trying to get ready for a high school reunion. And I think that's the challenge that some people have, is that you're trying to do something massive and you have an event mindset. And you can't have an event mindset, you know what I'm saying, and accomplish something great. And so I don't have an event mindset. I'm not doing this for the family reunion. I'm not doing this for the high school reunion. I'm not doing this because there are a pair of pants I saw that I like, that I want to be able to squeeze into. I'm doing this because I want to give my wife another 10 years on her life. And if not another 10, whatever time frame she has left, I want to make sure that it's optimal. She's at her optimal level of health. And so it's easier for me to do it because I have something driving me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the keys.
Yep, Vanessa in Louisville said, no question, just want to let you guys know I applied and got accepted into MSU. Hopefully I'll see you guys at the Success Series.
Oh, you would definitely see it.
Congratulations on making the best decision of your life.
That's right.
Jackie in Toledo said, thank you guys so much for this podcast. I listen to you guys on my commute to work, and you guys make me laugh hysterically. Quick question. I'm taking the bar exam for the second time here shortly. I failed the first time because I had severe anxiety before the test. Any suggestions for this go-around on how to keep calm before the exam?
Well, hey, do the opposite of what you did the first time. No, I'm being for real. Like go through that whole process. Why did you have anxiety challenges? What was that all about? And then I would just say do the opposite of that. And then I would also recommend, I'm real big on people who have been successful at a thing. I'm real big on interviewing them and asking them what were the secrets to their success, and then applying the principles that they give me.
Hey, I just add real quick, try as best as you can to simulate the conditions before the actual thing. So if you could find out the room that it's going to be in, go sit in that room for 30 minutes or an hour with a piece of paper and just simulate it, get into the environment, get your, you know what I mean? Try to get your body in the place where it's not a new thing for you, where it's somewhat familiar. And that should help with some of the anxiety.
Well, that's coming from a person who passed tests.
I think we'll pause it there because I hear my kids, so we need to start winding up here shortly.
You don't have some of that other stuff, see?
The negative reviews.
Oh, you know what? And people ask about that every week. Shout out to everybody who writes in every single week asking for them. I got to keep y'all on your toes, man. We can't do negative reviews every week. Y'all get too used to it. And Carl feelings get hurt, and we have to coax him out of his room, and his wife is upset.
I've been reading. See, I'm trying to find some sensational stuff to bring out.
Carl's self-esteem gets shot. He's not himself at the conferences, so we can only do that once in a blue moon to bring that out. Real quick announcements, man. Shout out to everybody coming to DC. We will see you in a few days. Pumped up about that. We'll leave for DC in a couple days. And for those of you in DC, do we have the information? I know we're doing a spiritual joint Friday night too, right?
Yes.
So you can come check us out at that. And then, of course, the conference is on Saturday. Looking forward to that. Washington, D.C., etinspires.com/events. Come check us out. Also, let's see, LA is on the calendar, right?
Yes,
so West Coast,
yes, sir.
We have not forgot about you. Stay Ready is coming to LA, and the whole crew will be out there November 12th, all right? Come help me celebrate my birthday. My birthday's on the 7th, but we will be out in sunny LA. So I'm gonna wait till I get to LA to celebrate it. And then also,
smart man.
Yeah, and also, guys, the cruise, the Phenomenal Life Cruise, right? Make sure you get your tickets for that. Carl, they got to win to get the rate or whatever it is.
We're trying to extend it a bit, but it's October as of now. October.
Okay, October. So we coming up. I told we've been talking about this months ago, and now we coming up on some deadlines But we are going to be taking a cruise to a bunch of cool islands, man. Come hang out with us. Live podcast. He's going to be speaking. He's going to be doing some morning wake-up sessions, some energizers, and teaching you guys how to get your mindset right going forward.
I got that. I got the address. September 1st at Restoration Praise Center. Restoration Praise Center, and that's in Bowie, Maryland, and it's 14201 Old Stage Road in Bowie, Maryland. Again, Restoration Praise Center, September 1st, and that's at 7:30 p.m. The doors open at 7, and we start 7:30.
Hey, text it to me, E. Let me make sure I get it in the show notes too.
Got you.
We'll put it in. We'll put it in the show notes. Anything
and that's
else?
free. I don't know if you said that, E. Sorry, that's free, y'all.
I did not say it.
Yeah, that's free. You
it.
can just come. We just.
Well, can we get a different word? Yeah, I don't like the word free.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I just want people
cost
to come.
effective.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I just want people to come and still feel like they need to apply it, not. I'm just gonna come ET free. No, like for real. When you guys come, it's a spiritual event, you know. But for real, come with the same, you know, mindset. If you pay $500-600, come ready to learn and to apply some of the principles that we're going to discuss.
Yeah, and do me a favor, if y'all could hold the show for like 20 minutes. My plane lands at like 6:40, so I'll be jetting over there ASAP. But would like to be a part of the. So let the praise team sing a little longer than you normally do.
They're gonna do that anyway. They're gonna do that anyway.
We'll be there. Real quick, guys, definitely want to say shout out, man, and you know, dedicate this podcast to the people of Houston. You know, obviously, man, it's heartbreaking just watching, you know, the stuff that's going on.
We got people there, man.
Family and friends there. Our prayers, thoughts, and money and everything else are with you guys. We're doing all we can on this end. But you know, I don't know if you want to speak to it, man, but just an awful time right now. But I know we got people in Houston, who are listening to us. So if you could do this nugget of the day and you know, kind of give them a word, you know, to keep their heads up. People going through a lot. People, you know, don't know if they lost everything, if, you know, family members are okay, just crazy stuff. And you know, one of the worst natural disasters, you know, that the U.S. has ever seen. And I can't even imagine what people are going through. But my family, like I said, our thoughts and prayers, and our ETA family, our Breathe You family that's down there. We have tons of people. And to be honest, Houston, when we look at our demographic, you know, just for us, Houston has always been, you know,
top three.
Top tier market for us. You guys have always showed love, man. And promise, man, we're gonna, as soon as, you know, time permits, we got to come back and do a free event, something, man, just to you know, hopefully get the spirits up and, you know, do anything we can to be a blessing for you guys. So E, if you have a nugget of the day that you can leave us on, you know, to give the people of Houston a word of encouragement going forward, man, I'd appreciate that.
You know, as I was thinking about Tobe and, you know, Matthew and, you know, T Mac, there's just so many different people, man, that, you know, we love, you know, there, man. As I was thinking about them, I thought about a story I read in Dennis Kimbrough's book, and it was a king who asked for one of the wise men to make him a ring with an insignia, and you know, the wise man asked the king, like, yo, what is it specifically that you want me, you know, to write? And the king was like, yo, I don't know, but you know, I do know as a king, I'm gonna have a lot of success, but there's gonna be loss, there's gonna be defeat, there's gonna be disappointment, you know, and I need something that will encompass all of that, you know. And so when I thought about, man, all the good times we've had in Houston, what is it, Carl? We got, man, the Cheesecake Factory, you know, we stay there. We got the Grand Lux. Is it Gloria's? I just got turned on to, I think that's the restaurant. I got turned on that restaurant. Man, I mean, we just had so many good times. Of course, I worked with the University of Houston, with D. Rob and those guys back in the day, been to a couple of the games. Yo, man, we just had so many good times I've done some one-on-ones. We've done some small sessions. We've done a Super Bowl, man. My wife and I, you know, we did the Super Bowl there. Man, we've just had a phenomenal, you know, experience. TSU with Coach Davis, you know. And so as I thought about all the good times, and Didi and I were watching, you know, the storm as it was coming, once it hit, I thought about that King's ring, and the insignia said, "This too shall pass." You know, this too shall pass. And Yolanda Adams has a song, and I wish we could play it as we go out. But she has a song that says, like every storm that has come before, this too shall pass. And I just want you guys to know, this is not gonna break us. I promise you, this is not gonna break us. This is only gonna make us stronger. This is only gonna define, you know, the city of Houston, the state of Texas, you know, and you know, tough times, you know, don't break tough people. It just brings out, you know, more of that resilience, more of the brilliance, you know. So I just want to tell all my people in Houston, keep your head up. Keep your head up. We're going to get through it. You know, we're going to get through the losses. Like CJ said, not just me, but you guys got a whole world that's supporting you right now. We're supporting you financially. Like C said, we're supporting with our time. We're supporting you guys. We love you. So to our BU fam, to Tobe, like we just had Tobe. It was a day or two prior to Harvey. Tobe had just won, you know, the rap artist for the city of Houston, the state, you know, of Texas, and was on his way to LA, you know, to represent, of course, ETA and Houston, you know. So this is devastating, you know, to all of us. But I told Tobe, you're gonna get a whole album out of this experience. One of your greatest pieces is gonna come from this experience. So again, we love you guys. We're in your corner, and we know all about it. Detroit, we're the city that's rebuilding right now. We too have taken some hits, you know, and we're rebuilding. And so as we rebuild, you rebuild, and we will rebuild together, man. We love you guys. Stay strong.